Hello everyone, so today I am going to be showing you how to build this laundry basket holder. This specific model can hold 3 laundry baskets. So you can see here I have example of 1. So you can basically just slide it in and out like that. It's pretty simple. You can take them all the way out, put them back in again. So like I said, this can hold 3. And there is roughly about 3 inches to 4 inches of gap between them. So there is 3 types of materials that you will need to get if you want to build this. So the first will be some just regular 2x4s. The next will be 2x2s. That will be for the rails. And then the other can be any other flat wood for the top. You can make this different sizes. It doesn't really completely matter on how long it is going from this way. As you can see, mine right now is 21 inches the wide way. You don't have to do it that much because as long as there is enough rail for this to hang on, it'll be fine. I made mine so that the basket doesn't stick out on either side. And then if you wanted, you could use the same boards up here for down here on the feet. So if you are a woodworker, or especially a beginning woodworker, this is a great project to build because this one is actually made out of mostly pallet wood. So this top wood, the bottom wood, and the 2x4s are made from pallets. And then I just went to Home Depot and got some 2x2s for $8 total for all the boards. So not too expensive. You can make these for pretty cheap. And these are actually my most popular items that I've been selling. I sell one for, I think, about $50. And people seem to love them. So the first thing that I do when I'm building these is cut the 2x4s. So the one thing that needs to be the right measurements is the height, because you want to make sure that all your baskets are going to fit. And you also want to make sure that your width for the inside is good for the baskets. So what I do is I go out and buy baskets. That way I know they're gonna fit, and then I sell the baskets with the holder. I do that because some baskets are huge and some of them are a little bit smaller. So you can plan accordingly to what size the basket that you get. So my 2x4s are 40 inches high, and that is the perfect room to have a little bit of gap between the basket. And you do gotta remember that it's going to be taller than 40 inches because you have this board's thickness and you have the board down here. So I use this Craftsman chop saw to cut pretty much everything for this project. If you don't have a chop saw, a circular saw would work great for this. Just got to make sure that it's going to be straight cuts. So over here is my pile of 2x4s. So you'll just need 4 because there is the 4 legs. So now that I have the 2x4s, I can cut them. If you have a chop saw, you can cut 2 at once. Will make things go a little bit faster, and you'll be more exact with the cuts. So as you can see, my boards have this little notch right here, so I actually have to cut both sides. So what I'll do first is cut here, and then I'll measure on the other side for the exact length. Okay, so now that we have the 4 legs cut, I will next cut these boards right here. So you can see right here, mine are 21 inches, and I actually already have some cut. So here I have already cut 10 2x2s that are 21 inches. So I have them all laid out here. So 4 of these are for attaching the legs together, and that's basically just for additional strength. And then the other 6 are going to be the rails that the baskets will slide along. Now that we have the 2x4s and the 2x2s cut, it is now time to cut the top boards here. So the boards that I'm going to be using are basically the standard pallet boards. So they are about 3¼ inch wide and then 40 inches long. And they're also about a ½ inch thick. We're gonna need 6 of these for the size that I'm using. These boards are just the right size to where I can't quite fit 2 top boards in one, so I have to use 1 for each. These boards right here and the boards down there are the boards that have to be a certain length. If they're not, your basket will not fit right. So the perfect size that I have set already is about 20 inches. That seems to be the sweet spot for the size of the top boards. So again, because these are pallet boards, the ends are usually pretty bad. This one's not too bad, but you get these holes and they just don't look that good. So I have to cut off both ends and then straight down the middle again. Okay, so all 6 are cut. You can see I have them right here. Now we can cut the bottom boards. If you really wanted to or had to, you can use these same boards for the bottom. It will still make it plenty strong. So if these are the only boards you have, that'll work fine. But I also have these boards from Pallets. These ones are a little bit wider. They're the same thickness and same length. You can see I have the other size over there. So you only need 2 of these. So again, you will cut these 20 inches, the same as the last boards. Okay, so now that we have everything cut, it is time to start building. So the first thing that I'll do is take the 2 2x4s. I'll put it like this, and then I'll take 2 of these 2x2s. I'll stick 1 here. And then the other one will go over here. Basically, these 2 are not going to hold any of the baskets. This is just going to be to make it stronger. I'm going to make 2 of these. I'll nail them and screw them together. Make sure it's not going to come apart. Okay, so I'm gonna make one more of these for the other side now. Okay, so now that I have both of them built, if you really wanted to, you could put the other ones on, just on the other side, if you wanted to. But how I like to do it is stand them both up, and then I will put the bottoms on. So make sure it's going the right way first of all. These will be on the inside, so you can see it coming together already. So what I'll do first is take one of these pieces for the top, and I will clamp it here. That way I can get kind of the rough idea of where it's going to be at. Okay, so it's all clamped on now. So what I'm going to do next is line up all the other top boards, make sure they fit good, and then we can nail them down if it fits. Okay, so it looks like it fits, which is good. So now what we'll do is nail down this one first, and then work our way down. Okay, so now that the top boards are on, we can put the bottom thicker boards on. So right now it's not super sturdy because there's not much connecting it together. So we need to be kind of careful flipping it over. Okay, so now we can grab these boards. And then basically just nail and screw those on. And that's pretty much it for the bottom. You do want to make sure that everything is lined up nicely. That way everything will be level. Okay, so now you can see we're a little bit sturdier, but it's still not complete yet. So we need to put in a few more screws to make it tighter. And then we still have the bottom rails for the baskets to slide on. Okay, so I just finished putting in all the screws. So everything is pretty tight. It's pretty sturdy for now. So now all we have left to do is put on these boards right here. So if you look on this built one over here, it is these right here, and that's what the baskets will slide on. So this is the part that you really want to make perfect, because you don't want any of the baskets scraping against each other, and you still want room to put clothes in there. You can see here there's not much of a gap between the corner brace and where the basket will slide on. So I think I did that last time at 1.5 inches. So basically what we'll do is we'll grab the piece, we'll measure 1.5 inches down, nail it down to hold it while we screw, and then screw it all together. So I'll go ahead and do the top part. So the easiest way to do this is just to use clamps. It's as simple as that. So I have a few of these quick grip clamps. So works pretty well for this stuff because you don't have to use 2 hands to tighten it. Okay, so we got the first level on. You can see it looks pretty good. So now we'll do the second level. So what I do for the second level is measure down 10.5 inches. So that is right here, and that is for the top of the board. So you can see right here is 10.5 inches. So I'll put the top on that line right there. And that's basically what you'll do. So I found that spacing to be pretty good for the laundry baskets that I'm using. It's pretty much the standard laundry basket, at least that I've found. So this should work on most of the laundry baskets. So again, you'll just clamp it and then nail and screw into it, and then you'll have your second level. Okay, so for the third row, you'll do again the same thing. You'll measure down 10.5 inches. So right here. And again, you will put the 10 inches right at the top of the board. So one thing I just thought of is when you're measuring 10.5 inches, you're not measuring from the top of the board to the top of the board. You're actually measuring from the bottom of the board to the top of the board. So that's kind of where I got my 10.5 inches from. It just kind of makes it easier to put your tape measure like that. So, and then you'll go down here again, and you will measure 10.5 inches. Okay, so I just got the third level on, and you can see it looks pretty good. So at this point, it is 95% complete. All that is left is sanding. You can use a belt sander, an orbit sander, a palm sander, or even regular hand sandpaper if you really wanted to. So I'm not going to show any of the sanding just because that can get kind of boring to watch. But one thing that I did want to say is if you don't have a nailer or anything like that, you don't have to use nails. In fact, using screws is better. I just use the nails in the beginning to kind of hold it together for me so I can see where I'm screwing in instead of clamps. So I definitely suggest using screws. If you're using nails, definitely put screws in because just alone with nails, it is not strong at all. So that's it for this build. It's a little bit customizable. If you didn't want the baskets to go in the long way, you can widen these more, and it can go in sideways if you wanted. So there you go, guys. That is the laundry basket holder. Again, if you're looking for something will sell easily, I highly recommend building this because I've made about 7 of these already, which is a little over $300 worth so far, and I got most of this wood for free. So if you have access to pallets or cheaper wood, or even Home Depot wood works great, you can make a lot of money off of this pretty easily. It's a pretty simple project to do, nothing too complicated. All you pretty much need is something to cut the wood with, like a chop saw or circular saw, and a drill. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment down below on what you think of the project and if you have any other good ideas for things to make. So thanks for watching and see you in the next one.